Santa Paula, and I'm with Superintendent of the Santa Paula Unified School District, Superintendent Dr. Ed Cora. It's Tuesday. Let me look at the date because I never know, August 11th. And we're here today. Tomorrow is the first day of school. It's a completely different ball game nowadays. Of course, now they don't have ball games either, but it is a completely different world out there for education and for schools and the first day of school. So Dr. Cora is going to completely update us on what's going on with Santa Paula Unified School District. Good morning, Dr. Cora. How are you?
Good, Peggy. Good morning. Thanks for having me on. I always appreciate the opportunity to share information.
Okay, that's wonderful. So it's first day of school tomorrow. What can parents and students expect?
They can expect pretty much what we've been doing since March, but in a different way. And we are living in a completely different world. Yes. Typically on our back to school, it's the excitement of the shopping for the clothes and the dropping them off that first day, having some of the little kindergartners crying as they leave their parents. It's just completely different. When you talk about also beginning of the year, we always have back to school nights. For the first time, we'll be having virtual back to school nights. So I want to get this clear right off the bat, Peggy. One, we miss our kids. Health and safety comes before anything else, which is most important. So, and while we miss our kids and we want to see our students here at school because of the health and safety that we have to be concerned about, it'll be different, and we will be starting off with distance learning. Plus, we don't even have an option right now anyway. On July 17th, Governor Gavin Newsom had his press conference and said all schools will begin with distance learning. So it will be different. But we were going to make the very best of the situation that we're in.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the district has approximately, what, 5,100 students?
About 5,100, exactly.
And that's in 8 schools, I believe?
9 schools.
9 schools.
Yep.
You go. Yeah.
6 elementary, 1 middle school, comprehensive high school, and a continuation high school.
Oh, okay. That's right. Boy, that's a lot. Yeah, that's, and of course, we have got our other school districts, and they're starting up too, but they're one, pretty much a lot smaller, as it were. Yeah. And but everybody's facing the same thing. Now, I want to emphasize too that this is pretty much like you'd mentioned, this is a directive, that this is the way school's going to be. But by the same token, it's a directive for a reason, and that's health and safety. So right off the bat, now what are parents going to be expecting? Now, I know that eventually you'd like to go hybrid, but for now, what are students, and their parents expecting? What's going to happen?
A couple different things. We sent we posted a letter for our parents on our website. We sent it out via social media. And also I want to thank you and the Santa Paula Times for putting a story on the front page. My letter covered health and safety as a priority. It covered the California governor's press conference, the main points from there, the distance learning, which again, students will be learning from home. Right below that, it has bell schedules. So to give you an example, if a parent has an elementary student, they're either going to be in cohort A or cohort B. So every day during the week, if your child's in cohort A, from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning, they will be online with their teacher. They'll, just like you and I are right now, we can see each other. And in Zoom, they will have, every student will be next to each other. It's like a classroom, but it's on the computer screen. If your child's in cohort B, they'll be online from 10:30 to 12:30, and there'll be opportunities in the afternoon for students to connect with teachers to get some extra assistance. And we'll have some English language development time in the afternoon as well. At the middle school, on Mondays only, cohort 8 will meet online, period 1 at 8 o'clock, period 2 at 9:20, period 3 at 10:40, and then cohort B then has 8:40, 10, and nobody has to remember this because it's in the letter. As long as they get access to the letter, they have all that. And then the high school, they'll have certain periods on Tuesdays and Thursdays and certain periods on Wednesdays and Fridays. Again, it's all in the letter. And then as you mentioned, Peggy, the letter also talks about the hybrid model. Right now, what the plan was, and the board approved this, that the high school, middle school will be on the distance learning learning model through December. Ventura Unified also chose the same type of schedule for different reasons. And if we are allowed to, by the Ventura County Public Health Department, our elementary students will, beginning the second quarter, will start the hybrid program. But it all depends on what's happening at the state level. We have to be off the state's monitoring list if that is to occur.
Now, when you talk about the hybrid model, what exactly is that? That's half and half? As
Exactly.
far as in school, half distance learning?
Exactly. So to give you an example, the hybrid model, on Mondays, all students do distance learning. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, if you're cohort A, you're in class in the morning. Then in the afternoon, and when I say in class, physically on campus. And in the afternoon, you get online with your teacher. Then on Wednesdays and Fridays, you would be live at school with your teacher. And in the afternoon, you will then jump in online. So it's completely just a hybrid, a little bit of both.
Now, and they've got social distancing. When we get to this point, they have social distancing in the classrooms. They'll have all of that. So the classes will be smaller.
Yeah, as a matter of great point. Thanks for bringing that up, Peggy. These cohorts we're talking about, they are in cohorts of 24. And when I say cohort, groups of 24, then that 24 gets broken up into 12 and 12. So cohort A, 12 students will be online. And cohort B then will be live in the classroom morning and afternoon. So the group got broken down into that small. The teachers, leadership that met with us, we both agreed for safety reasons, it's the best way to go. Keep the groups nice and small. Easier to separate them in classrooms, and they will still have to wear a mask. And that's not a Santa Paula Unified School District directive. That's coming from the governor of California.
Oh, absolutely.
And one more thing about face coverings, Peggy. The governor did say children in second grade, first grade, kindergarten, transition kindergarten do not have to wear masks. However, as a district, we are going to strongly encourage parents, even at that level, to have their child wear a mask.
Oh, okay, interesting. Yes, I wonder why they didn't. Now, of course, we all know that they keep saying that children do have a lower rate of coronavirus. But I realized something interesting yesterday that I wrote about for tomorrow's paper is that actually seniors 65 and over have the lowest numbers of those with COVID-19. And they're right there with the 0 to 17-year-old type of thing. The good news is that the kids don't get as ill, supposedly, and things like that. But the bad news is they pass it on to those over 65 who are the most vulnerable and have a very small rate of infection, but have the highest death rate. So, it's a matter of spreading the disease, catching it and spreading it,
Yeah. And good for you, Peggy, for putting that in the paper and sharing that information with the community.
Yes, I mean, people sometimes don't realize, they keep thinking of it as an old person's, illness. And yes, like I said, a majority is 65 and older, which isn't old. That's just, teenagers, as I like to call them. But, we've got a lot of people. And of course, they have, comorbidities and things like that. But it's just that children can get it too, and they can get sick, and they don't want to do that. And they can get it and not be sick and give it to everybody at the household.
Yeah, so, I'm going to go back, Peggy, again to the safety and the health of all, not only the students and the staff in our schools, but those loved ones at home as well. That's what we have to think about. Let me cover a couple of things that was in the letter, listed in the letter. Meal distributions are going to continue.
I just ask you about that. Yes.
Yep. So that's in there. It talks about students will be serving multi-day meals to enrolled students. Parents, when they pick up the meals, they have to have a postcard to verify that the child's in school, and they'll be able to pick them up for a couple days. So that's all listed in the letter as well. And also letting parents know that, again, we're also thinking of the students' well-being, mental health and well-being. And if they're seeing some changes in their child, there's a phone number there for them to call. And it's our Student Services Department, 805-933-8836. So we're trying to give parents things that they can fall back on for assistance. And it ends with staying connected with us, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or our webpage.
And what do you encourage parents to do? Should they of course, they have until tomorrow when school starts, but should they try to go out and do a little social distance shopping with your masks on and pick up some school supplies? I mean, can they do things that makes it more normal for younger children? So, parents are everything to all of us, but, especially the younger children, and the parent sets the tone. So are you encouraging parents to just act like, well, this is what we have to do now, and we've got to move forward, and we'll make it
And Peggy,
fun.
that's a great question. And it is the world we live in. And whether your parents at home or any of us, we have to do the best with what we have, the current situation.
Mhm.
And I think for parents to have some basic supplies. I know some of the schools, I believe our elementary schools, most of the elementary schools are sending home backpacks with some supplies in them. But
Wonderful.
yeah, but I also think about as a parent, I've got twin daughters, even though they're 29 years old. If they were small, one of the things I would do is have a space in the home that's kind of their desk, whether it's a dining room table, but an established place. It's probably not the best idea in their bed. Have a place in the home that there's a desk, the supplies are there. I know we were distributing laptops, we were distributing hotspots. That's one of the things that the governor said. It's our job, it's our responsibility to make sure that all students have access to technology and Wi-Fi. So we've been doing that distribution to the school sites. But as a parent, going back to your question, they can help out by making sure that their child has a place and they stick to the schedule that we're providing for them to be learning from. And look, this is a little bit different from the springtime. In the springtime, when this was all completely new, it was do no harm. What that meant was whatever the child's grade was at the end of the third quarter, that's what they were going to end with. It's different now. Attendance is going to be strictly taken, and students will be graded on the work and their participation and their engagement. So that's different, and parents need to make sure that they understand that. The engagement, the logging on, the checking in, the getting work done, they're getting graded for that.
Yeah, and that's a great idea too, to have a dedicated spot where that's where they go to school and it's their classroom. That's a great idea. They say, and they should make sure they're dressed for school too, just because,
You know what? That's a great point. Instead of being in their pajamas, make them get dressed like they're going to school.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Peggy, I don't know about you, but even me as an adult, if you go to my home, I have a desk in my home. And that's where when I go to do work, I sit down at my desk. It puts you in that work mode.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And children are creatures of habit, and it's good to get them into the habit of knowing that they're going to school, even if it's only 5 feet away. Yep.
And Peggy, the synonym there would be routine. Get your children in habit, routine, same thing. Get them in a routine of it's school time, it's learning time. Go to your workstation, wherever that may be. Get your supplies out. Get your laptop up and running. They will get used. This is the new normal, at least for now.
Where I think I hear a column. You should write for us about that. I'm serious. Yeah, really, I think that maybe you or somebody in the district there could write up something and, to advise parents about how to get them started back to school now in these new times, as it were. And I would appreciate that greatly, and I'm sure the parents would too. Those are very sensible tips.
We would be happy to do that, and it probably would be good to get different folks from our district to give different perspectives. Let's talk about that offline a little bit, what that might look like. Anything to help out parents.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And by helping parents, we're helping the students. So,
If I can also say something to parents very quickly, Peggy, I want to thank our parents for their patience, their understanding, and being flexible. I know it cannot be easy for them. I know this is completely out of our control, and we are doing the absolute best that we can in the situation that we're in. But again, I want to say to them, thank you for your patience, your understanding, and your flexibility. We will get through this. I think we're going to look back on this one day, Peggy, and we're going to say, how did we do it? How did we get through this? But it's working together and taking it a day at a time, and everybody doing their part, wearing the face mask.
Oh, yeah.
I only don't have mine on right now. I'm in my office. It's closed. I'm by myself. But the face mask, the 6-foot distancing, and the continually washing my hands. I don't think my hands have ever been so clean in my life.
Yeah. I don't even wear rings anymore because I wash my hands so much, and
Yeah.
they're not pretty gold things like what you have on. But
Mhm.
yes, I agree. And and it's funny because we'll be able to look back, and what I think that the goal is that everybody flourishes under these new things, takes it on as a challenge and as a new way to approach education, and kids appreciate the fact that they're given more responsibility because
Absolutely.
and instill into them a certain amount of responsibility that you know you're going to be studying at home, and it's it could be a lot worse, so it's
Yeah.
not. So that's the good news.
And
Okay,
Peggy,
anything I can ask you that you'd like to bring up, or
no, but
any
I was gonna
comment?
I was gonna say, they say with every challenge is the opportunity for growth and learning. And this is a challenge. And as human beings, can we grow and learn from this? And the answer is absolutely yes. But we have to stay positive. We have to be patient, understanding,
Mhm.
flexible, and do the very best with what we have. And we will continue to work hard on our end to educate our students in the very best manner that we can under the circumstances.
Well, I salute the district. It's not easy. So I appreciate it, and all the parents appreciate it, and the kids appreciate it. So I would like to thank you for being with us today. And I know you've got a big day tomorrow. We'll talk later about getting a couple of maybe advice columns out to parents about education. I think that would be great. And you do have a lot of talent in the district.
Absolutely.
So yeah, absolutely. And once again, this was Dr. Ed Cora, and he's the superintendent of the Santa Paula Unified School District, facing the first day of school tomorrow for approximately 5,000 students. This is Good Morning Santa Paula. I'm Peggy Kelly, and I'm happy to share some time and information, some very important information with you. Be sure to go to kadytv.net and you can subscribe, make more of this programming possible. I believe this is also going to be on Channel 10, Spectrum Government Channel 10, and on the school district you provided link, don't you also, Dr. Cora?
Yes, we do. And I miss our students. We miss our students.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, they do. So, and this is a great way. Please, please, please read whatever you get from the school district if you're a parent. And we appreciate your time, and we'll see you back here in a few days. I'm sure we'll be talking to Dr. Cora again soon. Thank you so much, Ed. You take care.
Thanks, Peggy.
Bye-bye.